Welcome back. You're watching KTN News Desk. Today marks the last day of elections for leaders in various committees at the Senate. And our senior parliamentary reporter, Patrick Amimo, has been covering this for us this particular week. He joins us now live from the Parliament precincts for more details. Patrick, being the last day, what now do we expect, and moving forward, what will we be seeing in terms of committees formed in the Senate?
Thank you, Akisa. What's happened is that today, so far, 4 committees have elected their chairpersons and vice chairpersons. We only remain with one committee, that on delegation, that will be holding the elections by 2 p.m. But so far, we have in the Committee for Finance and Budget, the Mandera Senator Mohamed Mahamud was elected and opposed as the chairperson. He will be deputized by nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura in that Finance and Budget Committee. The committee to do with devolution, the chairperson was John Kinyua, and he'll be deputized by Senator Wario Golisha. In the Committee for Justice and Legal Affairs, we have the Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei, who will be the chairperson of that committee, and he'll be deputized by Mithika Linturi. In this committee for that is National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations, which has just concluded their elections, we've had Garissa Senator Yusuf Haji elected chairperson, and the vice chairperson is Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja. You notice that in these 2 committees, that is Mithika Linturi is now the vice chair of this committee on Justice and Legal Affairs, and that on the County Public Accounts Investments Committee. And also we notice that Senator Johnson Sakaja is now the chair for Labor and Social Services Committee, as well as now vice chair of this National Security Committee, something that maybe has never happened before, but we'll be looking keenly to see how it came to be. But now joining me is the Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei, who is also the chair of Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, just to share with us on how the elections how the senators did carry out this particular activity. Senator, congratulations to be elected chair of this particular committee, a very, very also a very pivotal committee when it comes to matters to do with national development. What's your take on this?
Thank you very much. I want to thank my colleague senators for having faith in me and giving me the opportunity to be the chair of Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights. I must say I want to thank all senators from both political divide. They did give me the mandate, and I want to say I agree it's a pivotal. But you have to note that Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights is a very vast committee. There is administration of justice, constitutionalism, human rights, and also it is a cross-cutting. But one of the agenda is also to work with both non-state and state actors, like the Gender Commission and Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. We'll ensure we partner to them so that some of these issues we address. One of the key issues that we might seek to address is to ensure that election laws in future, the amendments are done early enough before the general election, so that we don't have to do amendment of elections laws and we divide the country further. But I want to say we will ensure that any positions we take will not be based on our political affiliation or any other partisan interest, but will be the position that will be taken by the committee based on its agenda that has been given by the law and the Constitution and the standing orders of the Senate.
Looking at it, you are succeeding former Attorney General and now Busia Senator Amos Wako, who is a very known human rights crusader and also a lawyer of international repute. You are a young senator, I think about 35 years old. How do you intend to fit in Wako's shoes while steering this committee?
I appreciate that institutional memory is very important in terms of this committee, and interestingly, Senator Wako will be a member of this committee. So he'll come in handy, and we have so many senior lawyers, senior senators that are with chairing. So we'll work together and ensure that I get that institutional memory of the committee. I'm also, in my own right, a human rights crusader. I was elected based on my fight against human rights abuses in county level and even at national level. So that notwithstanding, I agree that also you have to realize that the senators have realized the unique youth leadership, say that even as young people, we can have an opportunity of chairing these committees and learning from them, and also undergoing mentoring from other people who are also within the Senate committee. And I think this position, the Jubilee leadership thought that would be fit that I chair. This, considering my unique abilities and my legal background, and I've been in legal practice for close to 5 years. So I agree that it is an enormous task, but I am equal to the task.
Looking at it, there's been concerns that probably when the senators went to elect the various chairpersons and vice chairpersons of the committees, you did not use it as a bipartisan manner, like in the 11th Parliament, where we saw probably when the chair is elected from either the government side, the majority, then the vice chair comes from the minority side. But this time around, we've seen almost Jubilee has gone roughshod almost all positions except for the Committee on Public Accounts and Investments, the one that's now chaired by Omar Bay Senator Moses Kajwang. All these other committees, it's like now they are headed by Jubilee, both chairperson and vice chairperson. And it's like your colleagues from the opposition or minority are a bit uncomfortable with this kind of arrangement.
They should be comfortable. They should not be uncomfortable because we are a product of democracy. We are not a product of dictatorship. And if you go to an election, you go to win. And when you win, you must do what winners do. And that is what we, in fact, I want to assure you, out of 32 seats, Jubilee will take both chairpersons in 31 and vice chairperson. Even in PSC, we have our mythical Linturu, who happens to be my vice chair. He's also the vice chair in the PSC that Senator Moses Kajwang is the chairperson. So we are not apologetic to anybody. This is a process that is democracy. In fact, interestingly, some of the senators from NASA side have been attending these elections. And some of them, like yesterday, we had vice chair who wanted to be the vice chair in Senator Sakaja's of Labor and Social Services. So they have been participating. It is that fortunately or unfortunately, it is the process of democracy where the numbers win and the majority have their say. But I want to assure and tell Kenyans that these committees that have been formed, any decisions that we will take not based on our party affiliation, but in the interest of all Kenyans across the 47 counties.
Looking at it, just coming to look at it, Senator Mithika Linturi is heading, is been elected to 2 positions as vice chair, both in that Public Accounts and Investments Committee, and is also in Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. Look at Senator Johnson Sakaja, chairperson, Labour and Social Services Committee, and also vice chair in National Security Committee. Couldn't it have been maybe fair, or maybe for the part of the Senate to maybe cede these positions to your counterparts in the minority?
No. I think, let me tell you, the House leadership and also the House Business Committee that concerned with the planning of even committees, they use timetable. So you can be, for example, in Justice and Legal Affairs at 11 a.m., but at 2 p.m. we are having, or 12 p.m. we have a meeting of national security. So that is not an issue because we are using timetable. There is no day the committee will conflict. And I've told you, the reason is that Jubilee is asserting its authority and majority in the Senate. And therefore, that is the organization that we did as Jubilee. And I think there will be no inconvenience because all these people are energetic. Sakaja is young, Mithika is young, I'm relatively younger. So we have excess energy to do this work on behalf of the Kenyans.
Thank you so much, Senator Samson Cherarke from Nandi, who is now the chairperson of the Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights Committee in the Senate, trying to defend the position why maybe Jubilee has has taken all the positions due to it, about the vice chairperson and chairperson position in almost virtually all the committees, save for that on the Committee on Public Accounts and Investments, which went to this Omar Bay Senator Moses Kajwang as the chairperson, but whose deputy will be Meru Senator Mithika Linturi from Jubilee side. So that is the position as matters stand in Parliament now. We are only waiting for the Delegated Legislation Committee, which is yet to hold the elections. Probably they'll be doing it at 2 p.m. and we elect also that position. Vice Chair and Chairperson will go to Jubilee. Back to you, Akisa.
Well, of course, we'll see how that goes.